You can surrender and still win your life back. It's a truth I didn't want to believe. From the beginning, surrender was painted as failure, the white flag on the battlefield, the bowed head, the defeated voice whispering, "I can't." Strength, I was told, meant holding on, grinding harder, never loosening my grip. Victory belonged to the one who never surrendered. And yet, the longer I lived by that script, the more exhausted I became. I've gripped in so many different ways. I've gripped at work, convinced that if I managed every detail, success would follow. I've gripped in relationships, holding too tightly to people I feared losing, mistaking possession for love. I've gripped in my own body, resisting pain, refusing to admit weakness. And in each case, the outcome was the same. The harder I resisted, the more life slipped away. That's the hidden paradox. You can control every detail, manage every moment, resist every ache, and still end up hollow. But surrender, the very thing I feared as weakness, has again and again been the moment I found life returning. Stephen once told me, "I don't surrender. I keep grinding because if I stop, I'm afraid everything will collapse. I don't want to be the weak one who lets go." Angela echoed from the other side, "I already feel like I'm drifting. If I surrender, won't I just disappear completely?" Their words reveal the same misunderstanding I've carried. We mistake surrender for defeat. But surrender isn't losing. It's choosing a different fight. I remember the months after my partner died. Grief came like a shadow that filled every corner of the house. I woke each morning to silence louder than any noise, the absence beside me heavier than stone. I refused to call it grief. Instead, I busied myself. I scrubbed dishes that were already clean. I rearranged bookshelves, papers, even cutlery drawers. I answered every email, every phone call, every request, anything that would keep me moving. If I stopped, I feared the silence would swallow me whole. At night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, fists clenched so tightly that my knuckles ached. I told myself I was surviving, that not crying meant I was strong, that burying myself in tasks meant I was healing. But inside I was unraveling. The resistance didn't shield me from grief. It chained me to it. The breaking point came one evening at the kitchen table. A plate of food sat before me, untouched. The house around me felt cavernous, echoing with the absence I refused to name. My chest tightened as though every unspoken word, every uncried tear was pressing against me at once. And finally, I surrendered. I set the fork down. I bowed my head, and I wept. The tears came like a flood, hot, relentless, unstoppable. My body shook, my breath broke in uneven gasps. For hours I let it pour out, every sob loosening a chain I didn't know I'd been dragging. And when the tears finally subsided, I realized I hadn't collapsed into defeat. I had opened into peace. The grief was still there, but it no longer owned me. Stephen once admitted, "I've resisted so hard that I lost the very thing I was trying to save." His voice cracked when he said it, as though years of clenched fists had finally spoken. Angela whispered her own fear. "If I surrender, maybe I won't come back." Maybe surrender means vanishing, not being found. Their words bring me back to that night, because what I discovered is this: surrender didn't erase me, it returned me. What we resist controls us. What we surrender transforms us. Surrender isn't losing, it's choosing a different fight. I once thought surrender meant silence, passivity, retreat. I believed it was the mark of someone who had run out of strength, someone too tired or too weak to carry on. But the longer I've lived, the more I've seen the opposite is true. Surrender is often the braver fight. It takes more courage to unclench than to grip tighter. It takes more strength to release what was never yours to control than to keep pretending you can hold it forever. Surrender is not defeat. It is the recognition that clinging is its own kind of destruction. It is the strength to admit the grip is killing me. It is the courage to loosen, to breathe, to trust life again. I've learned that surrender is not the end of effort. It is the end of wasting it. I often picture the image of a river carrying a branch. At first, the branch thrashes, caught against rocks, scraping against the banks, splintering as it resists. The harder it fights, the weaker it becomes. But the moment it releases, the current carries it forward, not into nothingness, but into calmer waters. The branch doesn't vanish in surrender. It finds a gentler course. Resistance breaks it. Surrender saves it. Stephen once asked me, "Have you ever resisted so hard you ended up destroyed by the very thing you were fighting?" His words came heavy, worn down by years of grinding against burdens that never eased. Angela mirrored him in her own way. I've feared surrender meant drifting away until nothing was left of me. But sometimes I wonder if resistance has already done the same. Their confessions reveal the paradox I carry in myself, that the harder we fight against what cannot be controlled, the more we lose the very life we're trying to protect. In my journal, I've written 2 lines I keep returning to. Resistance chains, surrender frees, and another. Surrender is not the end of effort. It is the end of wasting it. These words remind me that surrender doesn't erase the fight. It redirects it. So I ask myself often, what am I resisting right now that is only chaining me tighter? And what might happen if I surrendered, not to defeat, but to the flow of life itself? The paradox is unnerving, but it is also liberating. Surrender doesn't end the journey. It lets the journey begin again. I once stood by a river and watched a branch being carried downstream. At first it thrashed wildly, caught in the current, spinning in tight circles, striking rocks as if trying to resist the inevitable. I imagined the strain in every fiber of wood, splinters torn loose each time it hit. The branch looked like me, fighting the flow, convinced that survival meant control. But then something shifted. The current caught it just right, turned it, and carried it forward. The thrashing stopped. The resistance ended. The branch didn't sink. It didn't vanish. It floated, steady, graceful, gliding with the current until it disappeared into calmer waters. I stayed there for a long time, listening to the rush of water, the air cool with mist, the sound of stones tumbling beneath the surface, and I realized surrender doesn't erase you, it delivers you. Stephen once said, "If I stop grinding, I feel like I'll fail everyone." I can't afford to surrender. His shoulders slumped as he spoke, exhaustion etched into his face. Angela added, "If I surrender, won't I just drift further? Won't I disappear?" Their voices mirrored the same fear I've carried, but watching that branch, I saw the truth. Resistance is what destroys. Surrender is what carries you through. Sometimes the only way forward is to stop thrashing. Surrender isn't losing. It's choosing a different fight. Stephen's struggle lives here. I grind because if I don't, I feel like the world will fall apart. But the more I resist, the more it owns me. His words carry the fatigue of years lived with clenched fists. Angela's struggle mirrors from the opposite side. I'm afraid surrender will mean fading out like I was never here. I keep resisting even when I'm too tired, because at least it proves I exist. Their honesty reveals the same ache I've felt myself. The fear that surrender will erase us, when in truth it's resistance that consumes us. The detour is this. Surrender is not the end of effort. It's the end of wasting it. I've written in my journal, what you fight owns you. What you release reveals you. That sentence unsettles me each time I read it, because I know how many years I spent fighting battles I could never win: grief, loss, control itself. Each battle consumed me, chained me tighter until the moment I surrendered. Only then did I glimpse the life that was waiting on the other side. So I ask myself often, am I fighting the wrong fight? Am I exhausting myself resisting what was never mine to hold? And what if the bravest act is not holding on harder, but finally opening my hand? Giving up breaks you, surrender bends you back to life. That sentence lingers with me tonight as I sit in the stillness of my room. I think of the months I resisted grief, fists clenched, body aching, until surrender poured out in tears that finally freed me. I think of the river carrying the branch, calmer waters waiting on the other side of resistance. I think of Stephen, grinding until exhaustion hollowed him, and Angela terrified that surrender meant vanishing. Their stories and mine remind me that surrender is not defeat. It is the way life returns. For most of my life, I thought surrender meant failure. To loosen my grip felt like weakness, to yield felt like defeat. But I see it differently now. Resistance chains, surrender frees umpia. Surrender is not giving up. It is giving back. Giving back breath, giving back peace, giving back life. The fear of surrender still returns. There are mornings when I mistake letting go for losing ground, afternoons when I clench my fists against what I cannot change, evenings when I thrash against currents far stronger than me. Each time, fear whispers, if you stop fighting, you'll disappear. But when I pause, I remember, surrender is not disappearing. It is choosing a different fight. Not the fight to control the uncontrollable, but the fight to stay present, to stay open, to remain alive in what is. I think of times I exhausted myself, swimming upstream, chasing a version of life I thought I had to prove. The harder I fought, the further I drifted from peace. It wasn't until I let the current carry me for a while that I found strength again. Surrender didn't erase me. It returned me to myself. The road curves forward, hidden as always. I cannot see what waits, and maybe I don't need to. Because surrender is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of seeing the road again. So I breathe into the stillness and whisper, Maybe surrender isn't giving up at all. Maybe it's the beginning of getting my life back.